All right, the United States has seized an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela. Amazing to me that they didn't just blow it up like they are doing these boats, which we don't know if these are fishermen. We don't know if these are just recreational boaters. We don't know if they're drug traffickers. We don't know anything because Pete Hegseth likes to murder for sport. It makes him feel like a big guy. It makes him feel like he's not the weak, insecure, wannabe alpha. And it exposes how broken and the toxic masculinity. But the reason they didn't blow up this oil tanker is because the whole thing with Venezuela is about oil. It is a gift to the American oil companies. They've admitted it. And so I would think the Democrats would be pretty riled up about a lot of this stuff pertaining to Venezuela. It's wildly unpopular regime changes. The American public does not want to engage in regime changes any longer. We're sick and tired of our taxpayer dollars going to fund these wars that only help the military industrial complex, the big oil industrial complex. But nonetheless, we all know this current president of the United States is all about governing for the 0.00001%, and not just Americans, globally. He wants to help billionaires globally around the globe. So I would imagine that the Senate minority leader would be wound up like a cheap clock. Let's hear what old Chuckles has to say about all of this. Play the clip.
Do you disagree with President Trump's ultimate goal of regime change in Venezuela?
Look, the bottom line is President Trump throws out so many different things in so many different ways. You don't even know what the heck he's talking about. You know, obviously, if Maduro would just flee on his own, everyone would like that. But we don't know what the heck he's up to when he talks about that. So it's very, you cannot say, I endorse this, I endorse that, when Trump is all over the lot, not very specific, and very worrisome at how far he might escalate.
Is that a joke? Honestly.
I'm afraid not. We know exactly what he's up to, Chuckles. We know exactly what he's up to. He wants the oil. Do you think we are dipshits? This is what drives me fucking crazy. I wish that he would just go join the MAGA party, because if you want to gaslight your base, you would do so well in MAGA. But you cannot do that with the Democratic base. We know exactly what Trump is up to. Everybody on the planet knows exactly what he's up to. So for you to get on national television and tell people, we don't know what Trump's up to. We know exactly what he's up to. Number one, he's up to dementia. Number two, he's up to enriching himself. Number three, he's up to decorating his Oval Office and his projects. Number four, any oil billionaire can call him and say, hey, we'd really like all this shit in Venezuela. And he'll be like, do I get a cut? And they're like, oh, you know you do, Daddy. He's like, will you donate to my ballroom? Yes, we will. That's exactly what's going on. And for Chuck Schumer to get on national television and be that impotent and that weak is such a disgrace. And I just want to show you, Pumps, and then I want to get your take on all of this. Dan Winslow's this guy on Twitter, and he asked Grok what McConnell accomplished, Mitch McConnell, what he accomplished when he was the minority leader of the Senate. Pop this up, Kylie. Mitch McConnell blocked Merrick Garland's Supreme Court nomination, preserved and expanded the judicial pipeline, forced sequester spending caps from 2011 debt ceiling fight, blocked most of Obama's second term agenda from 2011 and 2017. And under these, there's just a shit ton of stuff. Guns that he blocked, gun restrictions that he blocked. I mean, just all kinds of stuff if you will go and look at this. Moving on, eliminated the legislative filibuster for Supreme Court nominees, blocked Biden's agenda in 2021 and 2022 with only 50 Republicans. The summary table of key minority leader achievements slowed Obama's appointments, kept vacancies high, and these are the judicial seats, sequester caps via debt ceiling, blocked Merrick Garland, preserved the filibuster, preserved the 60-vote filibuster. In short, McConnell proved that a determined minority leader with a 41-50 senators can often wield more lasting power than a majority leader with a 51-59, especially on judicial confirmations and anything subject to filibuster. His strategy was almost always defense and patience rather than offense, and it largely worked. Pumps.
You know, I see this comparison and I have no love lost for Mitch McConnell, but he was good at what he wanted to do. He was able to whip votes. He was able to go behind the scenes. Chuck Schumer, when we're talking about worthless people, he's, you know, Mike Johnson obviously is number one. This guy didn't even stand up for himself when Trump called him a Palestinian. Okay. I don't know if it's corporate money, lack of vision, lack of being outside the beltway and understanding. But for him to sit there and act like, well, we don't know. And they fucking told us. They've told us. I haven't heard him say anything about the murders in the Caribbean by the Defense Department. I mean, this guy, all he does is get up, write strongly worded letters, say a few things that he thinks are nuanced, but really it's word salad. And I've had it. We need strong fighter leadership in the Senate. Look at what Mitch McConnell did compared to fucking Chuckles.
It's absolutely unbelievable how incompetent and how milquetoast and how not the man of the moment this guy is. I think that there are a group of senators that the more progressive wing that are signed on to be like the fighters, they need to get hostile and get him kicked out. And I just do want to say, I know you didn't mean it this way. I don't think it's a slur for anybody to be called a Palestinian. And I think probably the reason that he didn't respond to that would be that it would feed a narrative that's a waste of time. Now, listen, I agree with you on every single thing you said, but that subject, I don't want people going after you like crazy. And I know that wasn't your intention, but you know how people get so sensitive. People get so sensitive on the interwebs. All right, moving along. We're all in agreement. Chuckles has got to go. Chuckles is the worst. And this is who is beating him. I'm going to play you a clip, okay? And this is a total indictment of the Democratic Party and Democratic leadership. I just showed you how idiotic Chuckles was on CNN. This clip that I'm about to show you was yesterday, you guys. This is who is kicking the Democrats' ass. Play the clip.
So we're into 6G now. I just finished 5G. I was a leader on 5G getting that done. And now they're up to 6.
Let's do it again.
What does that do? Give you a little bit deeper view into somebody's skin? See how perfect it is? I like the cameras the old days. So they just had a nice feature. Now they cover every little. Let's see, Michael, you're in good shape. You're not gonna. But I tell you, it's the 6 is coming, huh?
It's coming.
He thinks that 5G and 6G are pixels on a camera. You guys, I think he can't out-stupid himself. Yeah. And he just never fails to be more incompetent the next day than he was the day before. He never fails to have more dementia the next day than he did the previous. He never fails to be even more low IQ on the current day than he was the previous. And then all the people surrounding him, you hear Howard Nutlick in there just chuckling, just hamming it up. And it's like the enabling of stupidity and the enabling of the dementia and the enabling of the dismantling of the federal government, the enabling of this just grotesque corruption, the enabling of these national security failures, and all these dipshits around him just sit there and laugh. And it's made me think about this, Pumps. Trump is a prime example that if you're a bad person and everybody gives you everything you want and enables you, you become even worse. Mm-hmm. And in Trump 2.0, he has a cabinet room full of people that humiliate themselves and go on and on. You're so great. You're the greatest president since Lincoln. I mean, these just embarrassing, inaccurate, bald-faced lies that they spew out. And he's a worse person. After each cabinet meeting, he's worse. Mm-hmm. But for us to be sitting here and he's talking about 5G and 6G, and he thinks that that is pixels on a camera. And Jake Tapper wrote an entire book about Joe Biden. Listen, that you want to be president, you get old, you show signs of aging, people are going to write books about you. That's the deal. I'm not mad that he wrote that book. What I'm mad about is that Democrats are held to a certain standard, and then these incompetent, dementia-ridden, sociopathic, Nazi-like freaks get away with this shit. It just drives me fucking crazy.
I look at Chuck Schumer and the Democratic establishment, like they're synonymous. They have not realized that they lost to the dumbest motherfucker on the planet. So they need to completely revise all of their thinking. They need to stop thinking we're going to preserve democracy. They need a go fuck yourself agenda, just like the Republicans have done. We need this. We're fighting for everybody. But here's the deal. I don't know why they don't do it. I remember like 2 years ago, we had AOC on the podcast, and you specifically asked her, what's the backup plan for Joe Biden? There was none. And I'm starting to think the Democratic establishment is every bit as short-sighted as the Republicans.
They're more short-sighted. The Republicans have long-term ambitions.
Yeah.
And Trump is decades worth of work by these dangerous machinators in the Heritage Foundation, the Federal Society, the Supreme Court coming to fruition is because they are not short-sighted. They are dangerously long-term thinkers and plotters. Now, on the surface, I agree with you on this. Like people in the Trump administration, like right now, yeah, fuck it, this feels good. Let's do this deal. Like that kind of stuff is kind of short-sighted. But the conservatives capturing all of this stuff that they captured has been a long time in the making. And Mitch McConnell, I remember when Barack Obama won. And, Mitch McConnell, you can just like take one glance and you can just feel the racism coming off of him. I mean, as white women, fuck that, not as just as white men, as every person on the planet knows, you can spot a racist like Mitch McConnell and don't even have to say a word with him. He has that old white guy, country club kind of affect. He said, our number one goal is to make sure that Obama is a one-term president. That was his agenda. It wasn't to fight for the people of Kentucky. It wasn't to, pass legislation. It was to get that black man out of the White House. Well, of course, Obama won a second term, but that racism was such a driving force for him as the minority leader. He believed in it. It moved him. It motivated him. It was a motivating factor. And so this is the thing with corporate Dems. When you've sold out and you value money more than you do the working class, and you value money more than you do the Constitution, and you value your AIPAC donations, Chuck Schumer, even though AIPAC doesn't want your party to be in power, you've sold out a part of yourself. So that driving hatred and racism that Mitch McConnell had, and he was so focused on it, the Heritage Foundation has, the base, we've moved. The Democratic establishment, the governing class, the Beltway Democrats, they don't have that. They want to have it both ways. They want to be cool kids. Yeah, we're cool with the gays. We're cool with blacks. We're cool with, some immigrants, not all, but we sure do like this corporate money. And when you've sold out to that, and then the response is going to be, oh, you're into purity politics. And it's like, no, this isn't purity politics. This is a brand of fuck you politics. Fuck you to these corporations who will not pay people a livable wage. That's not that pure of a thought. Quit trying to make it into something it's not. It's fuck you that now the two biggest recipients of SNAP benefits are Amazon and Walmart. Amazon and Walmart, these people have more private planes and yachts and trust funds and bank accounts that could choke a bull, and we're subsidizing them. And so the Democratic Party, I just hope that this primary season, we run populists and people that believe in universal human rights and don't run away from one goddamn fight. Somebody brings up trans rights, say, I'll talk about it all day, but I want to know why the fuck Republicans are so consumed with genitals. I want to know why, when we have a heat map of who consumes all the trans porn, it's all these red counties. That's what I want to know. So what is it? Are they for it or against it? I don't get it. Why are they consuming so much of this and fetishizing it and then weaponizing it out on the ballot box? Let's have a real conversation about it. Let's do that. And so I think the Democrats need to have a brand of, we are for everybody. We are for freedom. We are for democracy for every goddamn person. We will not leave one person behind in that. And the problem with the Chuckles and some of these other Democratic establishment figures is they've sold out. They have sold out. And then you're basically, face planting on CNN, and your base cannot fucking stand you. We don't like you. I don't want anything bad to happen to you. You served, move on, get the fuck out of the way. I mean, I think he is right now as bad as a MAGA politician.
Yeah. And I think it goes back to, that old cliche, if you want to please everybody, you end up pleasing no one. And that is where the Democratic establishment is. We want to bring all these people. Those people are never fucking coming. You're never going to peel off a MAGA voter. You have got to stand and have conviction about what you're willing to fight for. And then you have to do it, because that was one of Biden's big problem. Democracy is under threat. Well, no shit, Sherlock, but you did nothing in your actions to help protect it. These people have to put actions behind their words, and Chuckles can't even come up with the fucking words. So we're in trouble.
Very good point, Pumps, about Biden talking the talk about democracy, but he did not walk the walk. I am dumbfounded that Europe is now scratching their heads that Trump has sided with Russia in the Russia-Ukraine war, and that there wasn't a conversation with the outgoing Biden administration to them and saying, look, this is what he's going to do. Mm-hmm. We have the intelligence on it, and you need to be ready for it. We're sorry he's won the election, but you need to be ready, have a backup plan. And it's just, Biden could have released all the Epstein shit, and he didn't. Right. That shows we're playing two different games. Do you think if the Republicans had a bunch of shit on Obama or Kamala and were up in an election, they would leak that shit like the leakiest faucet on the planet? And we don't do it. And we just play two different games, and we get our ass beat because who is our leader? Hi, I'm Chuck Schumer. Who knows what Trump's up to? I don't know. I have no idea. Things. Good God. He's up to corrupt, horrible shit. And every fucking thing he does, you should say, oppose all of it. That's what Mitch McConnell did. And he actually was productive. This is before I was going to talk to you about the gold card, but I just can't even go there. These gold cards, you guys, every part of the United States government is for sale. Our military secrets, our chips, our scientific innovations, they are intentionally tanking everything about this country. And Chuckles will sit and go on CNN and not do a goddamn thing about it. And what a disgrace. All right, Pumps, promote the book. I'm too wound up.
Here we go. Life is a Lazy Susan of shit sandwiches. It's a great stocking stuffer, linked in the bio, also on audiobook. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel.